It all started last Thursday. Hayes touched on it on Friday, but let's get Scotty's spin. 19-point win by Geelong. Patrick Dangerfield outstanding. Adelaide weren't disgraced either. They still amassed 100 points.
Yeah, they weren't disgraced, but they gave up a 30-point lead, and there's your biggest issue there. Bad kicking's bad football, Goss, and when Geelong had dragged back that margin to a point, the Crows had 5 very gettable shots at goal and missed a lot of them. And Geelong did the absolute opposite, and there's your 3-goal margin. Dangerfield was sensational. Cameron was sensational. It was a bit of a round for old blokes this round. Like, there were some sensational performances by old boys this week, and Dangerfield and Cameron certainly set that off. Adelaide, I'm not sure what to make of Geelong, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not sure if they're a genuine contender or not, and how long can Dangerfield, and if they're the two most important players to their side, how long can they play a season, and how deep can they play into a season? But Adelaide's amassing a very. I've got a question for you on this, and they've set up a very, very dangerous forward line. Adelaide, obviously with Thilthorpe, Walker, and Fogarty. I don't think they have a number one forward, do they? Which makes it really hard for the opposition. Or who do you go to? Do you go to Thilthorpe first, or do you go to Walker first, or do you go to Fogarty first?
He was quiet on the weekend, Thilthorpe.
But then Fogarty and Walker do a fair job as well, so it makes it pretty hard. But Adelaide will be seething on that one. That was a game at home, a bonus one they get, and they were 30 points up and let it slip. But be interesting. Geelong, as I said, I'm not sure where I fully sit with Geelong and if they're genuine contenders or not.
Collingwood, are they a genuine contender? 16-13 defeated Sydney, who were never really in at 12-6-78, 31 points. Collingwood always in control of the game. Nick Dacos back to his best, and 3 players got 3 goals. Hill, Elliott and Myercheck, and McLean got 3 for Sydney. Worrying signs for Sydney. They just weren't in the game at all.
They never looked in doubt, did it? It was if you're watching as a Pie supporter, it was an enjoyable watch because you never looked too stressed. They were absolutely clinical. Their pressure was really high. Skill execution was elite. Still, side bottom was so clean. It was so clean. And Ned Long arrived in a big way. He's been a sub. He's been in and out of the team, and he comes on and has an impact. But then he started the game and had 29, had 9 clearances, 7 inside 50s, and 10 score involvements. He's probably the one keeping Ed Allen out. But that he arrived beautifully. But it came down to efficiency in the forward 50, mate. There was no clear indicator in the stat sheet across the rest of the stats. But 12 goals from 56 inside 50s for Sydney, no good.
Correct. It was a good win by Collingwood, and they certainly, and again, performances like Pendlebury and Steele Sidebottom, some of their seniors were outstanding. Advantage McElroy. He's within about 6 feet. He's going to Justin Rose is about 18 feet away, and McElroy is about 6 feet away. So on the first playoff hole, Rory McElroy, but he has missed these ones before. So well played to Collingwood by 31 points. They're the real deal, the Pies. They will not go away. North Melbourne, again, just folded up badly late. In the end, it was the Suns, 21-15, 141 to 13-11, 89. Significant contributors, of course. We had Ben King kick 5. Ben Long just keeps chipping in with 3 goals as well. John Noble off half-back, 28. But it was a good spread, 28s and 27s. Anderson, Rao, Miller and Noble and Caleb Daniel just playing off half-back, picked up 32 touches.
5 minutes left in the third quarter. It was 75 apiece.
Yeah.
5 minutes to go. This Gold Coast team can score, and they can score quickly and heavily. They scored 3-1 in that 5 minutes and then put on 7 in the last. I think 7-2. The pressure went off for North, and that just goes to show it's the same as the Richmond game with these young sides. If their pressure goes off, or when they're up and about, they can sort of match it. But can they maintain it for an entire game? Well, North couldn't. Their pressure goes off, and they were made to look really, really poor. But you talk about the midfield there, and we talk about stats and that. Sometimes they can overinflate the influence of a player, but. More votes for Matt Rowley at 26 and 11 clearances, 8 inside 50s and 14 score involvements. Anderson had 12 score involvements. Miller had 11 score involvements. Flanders had 9. They are the genuine deal, Gold Coast Suns.
They are. This is what Alistair Clarkson had to say about the disappointing 52-point loss.
We just fell away in that space in the last part of the game, and they got in top in clearance and territory, and we just found it. The dam wall opened. Couldn't capitalise on some of the fundamentals of our good play. They kicked 3-7 in the first quarter, which perhaps could have been. They get their shots at goal as well, but we kicked 3-7, they kicked 6-1. So sometimes that's just the fundamentals of your ball movement, your skill level, and they were just a little bit more polished than us when it mattered the most.
39 touches, Hewitt, 37, Walsh, 27 to Chera and Saad and McGovern and Cripps, Baker, and it was the best of the Eagles, 23, but it was all about Carlton. Completely dominated West Coast by 71 points. This game was at Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, and it was a really, really tough watch, that's for sure. And as I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again for anyone who's just jumped in right now, I seriously believe that the Eagles need to scrap the attacking style of play, because they turn the footy over too much and then it goes over their heads and they can't defend. They need to completely reprogram their players. They need to, in a day, as I said, in a day and age where attacking footy gets it done, they need to go the exact opposite way, mate. They need to teach their players how to defend individually and as a team. They lost possessions by 140, Goss. They allowed 73 inside 50s, which Carlton should have kicked more. And they lost clearances 40-18. 40-18. Now, I'm not sure Tim Kelly's a difference in any of that. And I think, as we said earlier, that they dropped him and they dropped him for the right reasons, and I think he deserved to be dropped. But contested footy lost by 59, uncontested by 88. They just don't defend. So when the team gets on the outside of them, they're all at sea. So it's almost impossible. And on Carlton, it's almost impossible to judge a team now when they play West Coast, because it's too easy, and it's sad to watch that. I don't know where they go, but for me, they got to get back to dead set basics of boring defensive footy.
Someone has texted and asked, can we give the stats for Jai Amos this year? So I will do that. So on the weekend, he had a pretty quiet one, obviously. So Jai Amos so far this year has gone, we had him on our show, didn't we?
Yep, a couple weeks ago.
He's gone 4 kicks, 2 marks, no goals, 5 kicks, 4 marks, 1 goal, 7 kicks, 6 marks, 4 goals, good performance, 4 kicks, 3 marks, 1 goal, and on the weekend he had 2 disposals and no goals. So there's your answer.
Yeah.
And an interesting stat from Derek, Clay Hall's first 6 AFL games have been played in 6 different states.
There you go. Welcome to the AFL.
All righty, what'd you make of Fremantle?
Well, welcome back, Hayden Young, first of all. I thought that was, I think he had 18, but they just looked better with him in their middle, and I love the way they played him up forward as well, just to ease his way back into footy. I thought he was a fantastic inclusion. 4 tackles inside 50, 7 inside 50s, kicked a couple of goals. I just think if he stays fit, then they will continue to climb.
Yeah, he's a key player, isn't he?
We said they wouldn't get it their own way, and the first half Richmond were competitive, but that's with their young teams like that, they struggle to maintain the rage, and that's with this style of football, which is so taxing, the attacking style and the rebounding style. It's a taxing style of footy, and the young ones struggle to maintain it. Well, there's senior teams that struggle as well. But Freo did what they had to do in the second half. 12 of their last 16 goals. Josh Tracy was 6, hit 3 in the first. He was just elite. So and that I guess band-aids over the form of Jai Amos at the moment, because you've got a forward line that's still contributing. And as I said, putting Young forward I thought was a really smart way to go about it. I still think they're better with Jackson in the ruck. So they're going to miss him for a couple of weeks, but
Good to have Darcy back. I thought Darcy got through. He looks a lot fitter. He looks well. He looks
a bit different, doesn't he?
He's trimmed off. His hair's gone a bit longer.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah,
there's something different about him.
I like him. They're a better side with him in that. They've got it.
I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing then. So, if you're talking about Jai Amos and his form, if they start losing games, and then that becomes a lot more.
The question is Voss worth more than Amos?
And then if Jackson comes back in and Darcy's fit, Jackson plays forward. So you'd want to...
Good problem to have.
Oh, it's a great problem to have. There's no doubt about that. But no, Freo are good. Back half, Alex Pearce snuck forward, kicked the goal as well.
Yep.
That's I think his sixth goal in his career. And I think they have all the pieces, Fremantle. And I did like the way Richmond go about it, though. I really do. They have serious intent. They know how to defend for a half, and they're competitive. But they're just obviously on a massive rebuild and expect more of games like that. But as long as they're having that go in a half or three quarters, Goss, I think their supporters and members will see where they're heading with it. And I think the Tigers are okay.
Lions were down by 39 points early in the third quarter, 30 degrees, but they got up 18-10, 1-18 to 14-13, 97. Eric Wood kicked some late sealers, kicked 5 for the game.
He had one kick at half time, and that's where it turned around. But I think it was probably the most entertaining game of the week, but another big lead mowed down like Adelaide's. I think they were 39 points up, but couldn't maintain it. Last week maybe took its toll on them as well. They play, when you talk about a bruising, an exhausting game of footy, the Bulldogs play that. We saw that last week against Fremantle. Their run from half back is so good. But when they lose that, that's when they're in a little bit of trouble. But Brisbane are winding up, not quite there yet, but on their way, and that's frightening, I think, to a lot of teams. Dogs are a decent side. They won the centre clearances 22-13. I mean, that's massive without Bonampelli, without Treloar. Libber and Richards doing really, really well. But they were minus 12 around stoppages, so there's something different going on around the middle of the ground than there is around their stoppages. But you just can't give Brisbane uncontested ball, and the Dogs did that, which is why they got back in. They spread well, they use it really, really well, and they find targets. And if you take that away from them and then make them go down the lines, they're not as good or as effective as they like to be with uncontested clear ball. So you have to lock down. You have to get your defensive team set up right and force them down the lines. If you give them the ball, they'll cut you up.